So that is the brilliant Sprints, of course, one of Dublin's finest. From their debut album, Letter to Self, which came out at the start of the year, and they are supporting The Gossip on Tuesday night, and then next weekend they're playing with Pixies, 2 nights with the Pixies, Belfast and Dublin, which is absolutely amazing. And we're very, very lucky because we have Jack Callan on the line from Sprints. How's it going, Jack?
Hey Kieran, how's it going? Thanks very much for having us on.
Oh no, it's a pleasure. I mean, what an incredible 6 months. So the album came out, amazing reviews, amazing gigs, nominated for awards. Just feels really whirlwind, like there's so much stuff going on. It's just been an incredible 6 months. How has it kind of felt?
It's been absolutely mental, to be honest. I think, especially when the album came out initially, kind of you're waiting for months to actually get it out. You're both excited, but also slightly terrified about that, especially with it being our first album as well. But yeah, absolutely blown away by the response. So I think, like, we all, we believe in the album and hope people would like it, but I don't think we ever saw getting such a good response to it. And yeah, since then, we've been mostly gigging for the last 6 months, kind of a week off here and there, but it's been pretty non-stop. So it feels like it was only a few weeks ago, really, when the album did come out,
Yeah. So what have you learnt in the last kind of 6 months? Where are you now that you were different, kind of just before the album came out?
So since January when it came out, we basically all had to leave our non-music full-time jobs because, we were away for kind of nearly 4 months at the start of the year. We're home for a few days here and there in between tours. It wasn't really feasible to keep it going. So that's probably been the biggest change. But then we've been so busy that, it really is a full-time gig. And then I guess trying to then write new material, it's totally different to before where we, everything on the debut album was kind of written over a couple of years probably, whereas now in fairness to Carla, I don't know how she's so productive. She's always kind of writing away at something or working on bits. And then, we'd kind of jam out stuff in sound check sometimes or little bits like that and get ideas from that too. Yeah, I think that we're kind of looking at it now going, right, we need to start just blocking off bits of time where just lock ourselves in the room for a few days and try and bash some stuff out for album 2,
Yeah, well, it's funny though. I think I always found when I was on tour, there was kind of a couple of phases of being on tour. There was the first phase where you're just enjoying it and maybe you're going out a lot, maybe you're staying out, maybe you're kind of, maybe you sleep in. It's just kind of a bit erratic, and then you kind of get into a groove of it. Have you got into that kind of groove over the last couple of months?
Yeah, it was actually very similar. So I think our first big tour of the year was our European tour, which was a co-headline tour with English teacher who we're all really good friends with. The album had just come out. We were on tour with some of our best mates, so we definitely probably stayed out too often and wrecked ourselves a little bit. That then by the time we were on, I think after that we were in the US then for 3 or 4 weeks, and that, but especially in the States, it's much more of a novelty just travelling around and being to all these places you haven't been. With each tour, we kind of pared it back a bit and we're right, let's kind of look after ourselves because it's not sustainable, and you kind of just don't enjoy it after a while. You're kind of getting up every day in bits and it's why did I do this to myself again?
Or you go the other way, which is one of the worst things, where you're kind of taking it easy on stage because you got a gig the next day, and I think that's nearly the other side of it.
Yeah, and that's it. I think it was it happened quite naturally where we were all just right, let's kind of chill out a little bit, and as well just with exactly that kind of where the gig should be the main focus of every day. That's the most important thing, and you want to put on a really good show every night. So it's what do we need to do to make sure that happens? Yeah, that's the main kind of priority.
Yeah, no. So I think one of the big things that happened recently was Colm, your guitarist, announced that he was leaving. I mean, that must be a big thing. How has that affected you?
Yeah, well, especially for me personally, actually, because me and Colm have been childhood friends. We grew up the road from each other. So I started playing drums when I was 10, and me and Colm have been in a band in some shape or form since I was 10. So yeah, look, it's bittersweet in a way because we're all still very good friends, but it's just kind of, yourself when it's especially when you're on the road a lot, it's all consuming and it's kind of all you can do, and that's all you should want to be doing really to a point. And Colin was just at a stage in his life where he's just looking for other things, and it made sense for everyone, but it's sad,
it's hard, and
you miss him.
It doesn't suit everybody, does it?
That's it. It's absolutely exhausting being on the road, and it's kind of just with normal life things. It's he was kind of looking to buy a gas and try and settle down, and it's not very, it doesn't go very well with that, you know.
Yeah, it's hard as well. Like, you feel like you miss a lot of birthdays and a lot of parties and a lot of things for a little while, and that can kind of stack up. But some people just relish that focus, and then some people it's kind of hard. But anyway, look, playing with the Gossip on Tuesday and playing 2 gigs with Pixies next week. What do those bands mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely buzzing. So yeah, we're big fans of both bands. And actually, I don't know how many times we played, but there was definitely a point in Sprints where we did a cover of Standing in the Way of Control. So we liked them enough to cover one of their songs, you know. And then Pixies are like childhood idols. Like some of those bands, me and Colin would have been in when we were teenagers. I think we probably did 4 or 5 Pixies covers at different stages. Like,
you have to.
So yeah, it's one of those real kind of pinch me moments, you know.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So, over the next couple of months, and you've hinted at it there, you're going to be a US tour in September and a UK tour in November. What does the next 6 months look like? I mean, it's going to be wall to wall gigs, but you're going to block off time to do new music.
Yeah, that's it. So it's kind of getting to the point where we've kind of known for a good while, but like we're just away most of the time. So it's like we need to kind of change our writing process a little bit. So yeah, it would be kind of like looking at, say, some of the gaps between them tours, where it's like we have some kind of like early demos floating around and things we're working on, but it's like to kind of really just lock stuff down. And I guess probably come into the new year being pretty ready to go with a second album. Still plenty of things to work out, but yeah, when you're that busy and gigging, you kind of have to do it that way, you know. But very excited about the gigs as well. Like the US tour, I think it's like 4.5 weeks maybe, but we're driving the whole thing and kind of going through some. There'll be like a proper road trip aspect to it as well, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will definitely be grueling at points, but I'm also looking forward to some of them drives. I know in the last one, like driving down the West Coast from like Seattle to LA was just stunning, like, you know. So yeah, when we're out in like Boise, Idaho and Salt Lake City and Utah and stuff,
when you're driving through fields, non-stop fields in the middle of America.
yeah, come back to me after the tour and I might not be so excited. Yeah.
Just a quick one. So I just released an album, myself and my wife just released an album, and we've done a load of gigs, and my wife is already saying we need some more upbeat ones for the next album. Are you starting to have those conversations because you need something for the set, anything like that in the new songs?
Not really, in terms of like we always, I think always when we've been writing music, we do have the live aspect in mind as well, because like, you know, the vast majority of our stuff is quite kind of high energy, and I don't like, it's not like it's going to sound the exact same or anything, but I think that even if the sound changes a little bit, I think there will still be that kind of energy or intensity at least there, that, you know, if some things do change, that will probably be actually the thing that kind of carries through, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's still plenty of work to be done on it, you know. So absolutely. But it's exciting though, you know. It's some of the most exciting times of your entire life is this kind of period. So, so look, Jack, have an amazing time on tour in the UK and the US. Have a great set of gigs with the Gossip and Pixies, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Cheers, Kieran. Thanks a mil. Thank you so much. Let's play a little bit of Sprint right now. This is from the album Letter to Self. This is the brilliant Literary Mind. This is Radio Nova.